What's going on YouTube? Crypto Matrix here, coming at you with another cryptocurrency stream. And guys, there is a lot of price coin action going on right now. There are coins going up, there's coins going down. Right now Bitcoin is sitting around 11,600, just sitting at that resistance, trying to break back through it. Is there some bearish sentiment right around the corner? I wanted to talk about what could happen if the Bitcoin price drops below $11,000. Could we see some lower price action down to that CME futures gap? Guys, if that sounds good to you, be sure to subscribe and like, and I'm going to dive right into the price action. So guys, as you can see, over the last day, Bitcoin had a bit of a drop off from 11,860 all the way down to 11,362, and then shot up a little bit, and now are testing resistances at around 11,600, guys. Okay, so this is an interesting sign here. After this run up all the way up past $12,400 up here, we had a bit of a sell-off going on here and people taking profits. That's clearly what that is, guys. So is there going to be more of a sell-off wave, or are we going to end up touching back, say, towards $12,000? It's definitely a question on everyone's mind if these supports are going to be held. So I think that we're going to kind of touch back down towards the support, and then there'll be a make it or break it moment with Bitcoin, whether it's going to break through it or not. I think right now the EMA 20 is down below the EMA 55, although a good sign is that it is kind of touching back towards it. Like, for instance, it bent right here, right at around the 22nd. So, like, you know, in the wee hours of the night there, that's when this happened, like 2 in the morning or something. And then the Bollinger Bands are starting to tighten up again, which means a breakout is imminent. So hopefully we can get a breakout to the upside, but I think we're going to touch back down towards the support 11,400 over the next day. And there's going to be a make it or break it moment, see if it bounces again. Okay, guys? That's what I think is going to happen in the Bitcoin price. Now, what we would like to see continuously happening here is continuously putting in higher lows. Okay, so higher low, higher low, higher low. So this is still a bullish trend for right now, but I still think that we might end up touching some of these supports before we bounce up. But I still think we're in a bullish trend for the short term. To answer any questions, guys, when you're getting higher lows, you're still in an uptrend, and that, as we always say, the trend is your friend. Okay, guys, so keep that in mind moving forward over the next few days. I will be off tomorrow. I take off on Sundays, and I'll be back Monday, so there could be some price action over the weekend. Keep that in mind. And don't forget, there is a CME futures gap down at 9,600. Okay, guys, so there definitely could be a price movement down there eventually. But when? The last CME futures gaps were filled already. Okay, so does that mean that we could get a breakdown to the downside? And guys, I think if certain supports aren't held, then that might just happen sooner than I thought. So we have to continue to analyze over the next week. Anybody can make a prediction and say the price is going here or there, but it's all about the analyzation of the charts, and that's how you make a real prediction. Okay, guys, so I think that there are some hints that there's some lower times right around the corner. It could just be possible. Now, everybody's very hyped about seeing higher coin prices by the end of the year, especially in Bitcoin. And $13,000 was looking pretty probable for at least last week. It was. We were at 12,400. It was looking strong for a couple days, and then a big sell-off. So the reality is, guys, are we going to break to the downside sooner than later? Will this just be another great opportunity to accumulate, or is more downtime right behind it, and we could go lower? So. But let's not, jump off a bridge yet. I think we still got some room here to move around. We got to touch that support, see what happens, see if we bounce back off it. And if we do, then that's a very good sign. So hopefully we can bounce right here. Or just break through this resistance and continue to move up. Okay, guys, that's what I think. One of the two will happen, obviously. But I'm leaning towards a bouncing off of support and then a rise. Okay, guys? The only other good sign that we have on the Bollinger Bands, we are above the middle Bollinger Band right now. So that could be interpreted as a bullish sentiment for the short term, meaning that we could bust above this support level. So there's a bunch of ways to look at it, guys. Like, we could just be breaking down and touching the support. We could be breaking through this resistance if this continues to remain bullish for the short term. But it's really kind of a let's see what happens moment. You know, it really could go either way there. So you have to pay attention to it over the next few days. That's for sure, guys. And I want to talk a little bit about Ox, guys. There might be another opportunity to get some buys in right here. I've been talking about these support levels here down at 0.46 and 0.50. If you bought in any time basically at 0.50, you could have been able to flip a top very easily. If you got in even lower than that, you've been able to flip a top very easily and make some good money. Anytime a coin fluctuates from 0.45 or 6 or 7 or 8 all the way up to 0.5 something, that's 10 to 20 to 30% gains, guys. That's huge, and that's happening almost every single day on this coin. So if you're not watching OXT, you are foolish. Keep your eyes on OXT right now. There's a lot of price action going on. The volatility is in the market, so keep that in mind, guys. You can make some quick flips on this coin, but I do think that OXT will have some higher times towards the end of the year. We were just all the way up at 84 cents from 14 cents. So that is a huge price rise, guys. So there's already been a lot of run up. So be careful when you're getting into this coin. Understand that it could also crash back down to lower times like 14, 20, 30 cents at least. And understand you want to be in and out of the market pretty quick with this one. And I'm not trying to promote pump and dump, but in all honesty, guys, when there's volatility and money to be made and you've already got your HODL coin, you do look for fast moving coins to make some extra money. And that's, I want to be sharing what I'm doing with people as well as HODLing, because everybody can HODL, but not everybody knows how to day trade efficiently. So honestly, guys, OXT is just a great coin right now. And if you're getting in at supports, you are making money clearly. Thursday. Guys, I wanted to go over Electroneum. We are still bouncing in between that support and resistance, as I was talking about. We had a couple bounces now, 2 bounces, okay, guys? So since my last video, we kind of broke down below the support for a brief moment, broke back up, and are kind of bouncing around now. The EMA 20 is kind of undecided, kind of going up and down and up and down and up and down. There was a widening of the Bollinger Bands right before. Now we're getting some tightening going and some consolidation. So it looks like another breakout is imminent as well. And if we get a little bit more volume into the market here, we could see hopefully a break to the upside. What we don't want to see, for instance, is a break back down into this channel and a repeat of history, for instance, from this last descending wedge. Okay, we want to try to break out of it and continue moving up. As you can see, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So we have higher lows all throughout. So that's a really good sign that we've been moving up this month, and there's possible up times over the next month for sure. But we, again, just like everything else, we have to break through resistances to flip it into supports and then remain steady up there. See, like what happens is people get weak-handed, and it's very clear that they're just unsure and they're taking too much profits here. And that's why we keep getting these breakdowns here, guys. You got to remain strong on a coin like Electroneum, and there's just so much more room to the upside. I keep getting people talking about the ICO price, buying in at the ICO price. Guys, if you bought in at 20 cents, 15 cents, you made a big mistake. That's just a bad call on your part. I got in at like 0.0023 and 0.0018. So I'm in the green forever. I'm never getting out of the green. Unless there's a real bearish scenario where we, for instance, from the 2 cent went down to 0.0018, from 1 cent go down to 0.0009 or 8 or something like that. That's the most bearish scenario I can think of, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. So I'm very happy with Electroneum. I see it moving up and up. And I do think we'll see, 15, 20 cent eventually, guys. I think there's a lot of room for the project to grow. I think they have a very good project. I think they're doing a lot of good things. They have a lot of good karma as well. And, the things that they're doing in the countries that they're doing it in are just really awesome. They're helping a lot of people. And I think that's what's going to go the long way with Electroneum, is just the project being very solid and a lot of good things happening within it, and just a positive attitude around. People don't have positive attitude in crypto, they don't make it in crypto. They lose out quickly. If you're getting too frustrated, it's a sign that you're just making bad calls. And in all honesty, guys, whenever I make a bad call, I've made one bad call this year where I'd like to say, hey, I cashed out in the negative, and it hurts. And honest to God, if I was making too many of those, I wouldn't be trading. So, you know, I had to get right back up on that horse after I made the bad trade and, you know, made a profitable trade the next day. And that's how you got to be, guys. You got to keep going for it. You got to keep trying your best. If you know what you're doing or you've got a good guide, I mean, that's half the battle. And don't forget, guys, I give lessons, you know, for $100 an hour. Anyone that's interested in learning more at any level, from just understanding how to avoid fees, navigate the exchanges, you know, to actually making good buy signals and calls, that is, you know, that's all I do, guys. So if you want to get better and have a real personal touch, feel free to inbox me at bitcoindeathstar@gmail.com, and I'm happy to help you guys. And guys, I want to talk a little bit about Zec. Zec having a little bit of a pan off right here, touching all the way down towards the bottom of this channel here. I was talking about it over here, breaking up a little bit and then having a bit of a pan off, and it did have a pan off. Okay, guys, it broke up to about 87 cents or $87, excuse me, and then a breakdown past support, bounced off that, and then now we're below this support, sitting at the bottom of this channel. Will we break out of it? I think we're going to break up now towards $80. I think Zcash still has some room to go to the upside, and this was just a little bit of a correction, and now we're going to get more room to the upside. And as I said before, guys, that coin can go all the way up to the several $100 range. But let's start with just breaking some resistances, turning them into supports first, and breaking above $100 and holding it first. But for instance, we have to get to 80 before we even think about 100. So I think 80 is the next step. I think we could see 80 easily by, you know, Tuesday if it continues to bounce just like it has been. For instance, from the 17th to the 21st, we broke down by almost 18, you know, 20% basically, guys. So that's a pretty big move down to the downside in just a few days. And if you think about since the peak of up at over $100, we've broken down 30%. So is this just a correction, and finally now we're going to start moving back to the upside? That's what I think is going to happen, guys. I think we're going to start to break back to the upside, and Zcash will start to make a little bit more move bullish, hopefully towards $80 over the next few days. And guys, I wanted to go over the Bitcoin price if it drops below 10,000 if the support level fails. So what could happen if the Bitcoin price continues to break down? And it would be just this, guys. So the 12,000 area was crucial to hold for any further upward momentum. It failed to sustain the support, which means that a pullback became likely. Immediately after the breakdown at 12,000, the price of Bitcoin fell towards the support area at 11,600. The 11,600 level resulted in a slight bounce toward the 11,800. However, as the chart shows, the 11,800 area was then confirmed as a new level of resistance. So we've had lots of resistance going through this here, guys. That's why we're kind of getting rejected, and $12,000 keeps getting sold off basically. And the pressure is just pushed back down. And if we keep not being able to break these resistances, guys, that's not a good sign, and we could end up seeing some lower times. So I think that the key levels that we're at now need to hold, and that we need to push through the $11,800 level and then remain stable of that, just to remain bullish for the short term. Okay, guys? So as long as this area sustains support and Bitcoin reclaims the $11,800 area as support instead of resistance, more upside should be expected. So further targets for Bitcoin would be found at 13,000. However, and we've been talking about 13,000 being a target, guys. However, the main resistance area after 12,000 is 15,500 and 17,000. In other words, if 12K finally gives, the market will become even more bullish than before. So they're talking about here that if it breaks above 12,000 and remains stable, and say like we break above the $12,400 level, then easily 13,000 could be achieved, because there's not that much resistance above that level right there. It could just jump right to it, is what they're saying. Okay, but the bearish scenario, guys, could definitely end up playing out, and say like we break through these supports, we could end up breaking down and testing more supports. And if we break through that one, there's not another one down until the CME futures gap, and that would be actually filling that CME futures gap that, you know, happened just recently. And that would be really interesting, because that happened, you know, in the beginning of August here, the pump up here, and the sell off, it could have only taken a month. And that's very interesting, because if the CME futures gap can really predict things just like that and be that strong, like I believe in them for sure, guys, that's why I'm always talking about them. But just how strong they are could be readily apparent here if something like that actually happens and we do get a dip down all the way down past 10,000 again. So similar between the 11,200 and 11,400, which is right where we were yesterday, guys. Support levels is also crucial for the bears. If this level is lost in the coming week, further downward momentum is likely, particularly toward the open CME Bitcoin futures gap at 9,700, which is also a significant support level. However, before this can happen, a potential retest of 11,800, 12,000 should not come as a surprise. In that regard, there are two crucial zones for the bulls and the bears. So this is why it's a very interesting time for Bitcoin right now. We could see a break down or up. It just has to test these supports and resistances and see which one breaks through. Basically, if the bulls are going to break through, it'll break through to the top. If the bears are going to break through, it will break through to the bottom. So for the bulls, 11,200 to 11,400 area must hold, and after that the Bitcoin price needs to break through 11,800 or 12,000, guys. For the bears, the 11,800 and 12,000 must sustain resistance, and the 11,200 and 11,400 area needs to fail as a support level. Okay, guys, so that's literally what can happen one way or the other with Bitcoin price right now. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think that we're bullish? Do you think we're bearish? Are you guys getting cold feet? Are you getting scared that there's going to be a big sell-off, and are you taking profits right now? I gotta say, guys, if you didn't take profits at 12,400, there's no point in taking profits now. Just be patient. Even if it goes down all the way, I'm comfortable sitting in Bitcoin from where I'm at now all the way down to 3,000 something if I have to. I would just accumulate more at that bottom. I'd probably buy more at 7, 6, 5, and 4. I'd buy it all over the place because that's what I believe in. I believe in higher time Bitcoin prices, and that these hills are just really ways to weed people out, and Bitcoin will always achieve higher times. Now, there is a very real sentiment that Bitcoin will achieve higher prices, but how high can the price actually go? There's talk of 10,000, 100,000, $1 million. You know, I think someday in the future we will achieve $100,000, and maybe someday, I say maybe because that could take 20 years before Bitcoin hits $1 million, and then the scarcity of Bitcoin would be, you know, epic. Okay, there would be no Bitcoin left out there to buy, and I think as time goes on, there's only a certain amount of it. You know, it will become more and more scarce, and I like to joke with a buddy of mine that I think girls will be into you for owning Bitcoin later in the day. You know, they'll just be very interested in what you have, and it's going to be something it's like gold. You know, it's a very strong presence online, and the digital gold, I believe. So I think that Bitcoin is around to stay, and there's just so much potential with it for the future, guys. And guys, that's all I have time for today. I am going to be off tomorrow, so I will be back Monday with another video. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I can't stress enough that I do this for you guys, and I'm having a blast doing it, and I'm picking up students all the time. And not just that, but I'm picking up subscribers all the time too, guys. So every time I do a video, I'm getting subscribers. I had a video about 6 days ago that it had 1,400 and some views, and I got 50 some subs from it. I mean, guys, that's just amazing. I love the interaction with people. I love the interaction with my viewers, and I'm just having a blast, guys. So I can't thank you guys enough. I'm going to continue to put out videos and good content for you guys. This is something that I see myself doing for years to come. And you know, as I said, I do this for you guys, so I hope you guys are all enjoying it. I hope you guys are making good money. I know I am, and I'm going to continue to making these videos for you guys. So that's all I have time for today. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Crypto Matrix. I'll catch you guys later.